Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is April 23rd, 2024, and Deco is set to meet with Xavi tomorrow in order to discuss the Barcelona manager's future. Also, English media outlets are confirming that Bernardo Silva is quote-unquote crazy to join Barcelona. And finally, Barcelona are set to sign yet another young prodigy. We have a lot to discuss. So let's. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and before we begin with the news, just a quick reminder to make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All of this helps this channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the Kickback. And if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you head to Bet Us. Both links for Kickback and Bet Us are down below in the description. Now, let's begin with the news because it's reported that Xavi Hernandez is set to meet with Deco tomorrow, Wednesday, April the 24th, in order to discuss the Barcelona manager's future. Now, as I reported in yesterday's podcast, Xavi Hernandez is now considering staying at the club. However, he does want Barcelona to meet two conditions in order for him to stay. The first condition is that Barcelona need to sign a fullback, a pivot, and a winger, and these three players would have to be Xavi's choice. He would pick which players they are, and Barcelona would have to sign them. And the second condition is that Xavi wants full protection from the board for himself and his players. Now, it's reported that Barcelona cannot guarantee Xavi Hernandez his three signings. They cannot guarantee the exact names that he's going to want to choose. However, Barcelona do want to make the effort to make 2 or 3 signings to improve the team in case Xavi Hernandez does decide to stay, which, by the way, Laporta and the board believe that the current players are on the team should be performing much better than what it's currently performing because they believe that the team does have good enough quality, but nonetheless, they're still willing to make 2 or 3 more signings in order to make the team in case, again, if Xavi Hernandez does end up staying. However, one thing is that Barcelona cannot guarantee that they would be able to get those 3 names that Xavi Hernandez would choose. Now, it's reported that tomorrow Xavi Hernandez is set to meet with Deco in order to discuss his future, which is very interesting because it seems like Joan Laporta will not be present at this meeting. Joan Laporta will be leaving it all up to Deco in regards to these discussions. And it's reported that Deco does have his doubts on whether Xavi should continue or not, but nonetheless, he will meet with Xavi tomorrow. And during this meeting, both parties will discuss the future, with Xavi discuss it with Deco, what his plans are and what he plans as far as the direction of the project, and where Deco will discuss with Xavi on what is the club's position as far as the signings and the conditions he is currently requesting. And once the meeting is over, both parties will decide on whether to continue the relationship or whether to part ways, and this decision will be communicated to Joan Laporta. But anyway, speaking of Xavi Hernandez and the players he has requested, of course, one player that he has requested in the past is Bernardo Silva, who is no secret. He's been wanting to come to Barcelona for quite some time. In fact, Xavi Hernandez spoke to the player last summer. They reached a verbal agreement for Bernardo Silva to join Barcelona. But unfortunately, because of the club's finances and financial fair play, this did not happen. Bernardo Silva did end up renewing with Manchester City, but he did reserve a release clause in his contract, this is not customary for contracts in the Premier League. Nonetheless, Bernardo Silva reserved a release clause that would allow him to leave Manchester City for around 58 million euros. And it's reported that he did this because he still wanted his shot at coming to Barcelona next summer. Well, now English media outlets are confirming that Bernardo Silva is in fact crazy about joining Barcelona. He still wants to join Barcelona almost 1 year later. And given that Barcelona could achieve the 1-to-1 rule thanks to that possible new contract with Nike, which I did talk about a video earlier. If you haven't watched it yet, make sure to check it out. But since Barcelona do have a chance of achieving the 1-to-1 rule, they could consider going after Bernardo Silva, which again, he is crazy about joining Barcelona. Now, what's the problem here is that there are other clubs interested in Bernardo Silva, including PSG and Real Madrid, who could end up paying the release clause all at once. Another bad problem or another negative to this signing is his age. Of course, Bernardo Silva is about to become 30 years old. And if Barcelona end up spending close to 60 million euros on a 30-year-old, that's not going to be Barcelona not going to be able to amortize that 60 million euros, which could then figure as losses in the future, which could impact the financial fair play negatively. But the positive side is, of course, that Bernardo Silva is dying about coming to Barcelona. Is crazy about joining Barcelona. So as far as PSG and Real Madrid being competition, it's not a big problem for the club. Now, in my opinion, I really like Bernardo Silva. I think he's a phenomenal midfielder. I think he's one of the best midfielders in the world. But because his age, I am not too much in favor of Barcelona spending 60 million euros, close to 60 million euros on him. Of course, you could argue, well, what about Gundogan? He's 32. Well, in the case of Gundogan, he arrived for free, so that's different. Bernardo Silva could come for free. I would be all for it. But 60 millions on a 30-year-old does seem a little bit steep. But as always, I do love to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about Barcelona signing Bernardo Silva? Let me know down below. Now, speaking of the opposite, which is young players, Barcelona are set to sign yet another young prodigy whose name is Jorge Mokio. Now, as you know, Barcelona have been doing a really good job scouting young talent all around the world, talent that has a lot of promise, that shows a lot of promise, and try to sign them before they kind of explode and their prices skyrocket. And this is how Barcelona were able to sign people like Mika Fai, like Noah Darvic, like the loan of Mamadou Mbake, and how Barcelona are now trying to sign the two African sensations, David Oduro and Ibrahim Diarra. And well, now Barcelona are set to sign yet another young sensation whose name is Jorge Mokio. If you don't know who Jorge Mokio is, he's a 16-year-old left-footed center back who currently plays for the Belgian side Ghent. In fact, he has already made his senior debut with Ghent. He has also made his debut with the under 15, under 16, and under 17 with the national Belgian teams. And it's reported that Barcelona are very close to signing this player. Now, Barcelona want to repeat the same formula as they did with Mika Fai, where they want to sign Jorge Mokio for Barca Athletic, where he can grow, develop, and then if he ends up living up to the expectation, promoting him to the first team. And it's reported that Barcelona are very close to doing this because there are two things that happened recently which made Barcelona emerge as a contender. The number one thing is that Jorge Mokio, through his entourage, just filed a request with the Royal Belgian Football Association requesting that the player be disassociated or disaffiliated from Ghent. In other words, they have requested that an exit out of the club. And the second thing is that Jorge Mokio was present at Barcelona versus PSG match. He flew to Barcelona. He watched the match at the stadium. Unfortunately, it was not a good match to watch, but nonetheless, he was there with his agents. So it's reported that Barcelona are very, very close to signing yet another prodigy, which is very, very exciting. And I do want to hear your thoughts and opinions about him. Have you guys seen Jorge Mokio before? If so, let me know down below. Anyways, that is all the news for tonight. I did upload an earlier video today with some interesting news about the possible sale of Araujo, the renewal with Nike. Make sure to check it out. But for now, I do bid you adieu. So make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, peace, Barca.